You are tuned into the Literacy Hour with Test Taking Solution and your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. The purpose of this show is to help mitigate health disparities, improving literacy related to health, economics, and education. For all your professional development, professional management, and educational support services needs, contact Test Taking Solution, where we're igniting success. Located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Literacy is knowledge and knowledge is power. Thank you for joining the Literacy Hour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is another beautiful day to be in the land of the living. I want to thank you for tuning into the Literacy Hour this morning. The information shared during this show, either by the host or guest, is for educational purposes and does not constitute medical, legal, financial, or tax advice. For specific advice applicable to your situation, please contact a licensed certified professional. Well, today is July 28th, 2026, the fourth Tuesday. And today is the time we focus on our mental health and wellness. You know, there's a song that's been in my spirit this weekend and even into this morning. Bishop Carlton Pearson sings this song. I want you to listen to it this morning on your way into work, or you're just getting up out of bed and having that cup of coffee, or maybe you're just sitting in your chair looking out the window. This one's for you.
When my work on earth is done, I'm going home to live with God. You heard me? All of my troubles will be over. I will make a new song all this morning. When I rise, I'll shake the dust from my feet and wipe my weary eyes. I know that my troubles soon will be over by and by.
Oh yeah, this is just for you.
That day should have come. Say hallelujah.
Good morning.
I'll get somewhere I'll say this song.
Welcome to the Literacy Hour. Mental Health and Wellness Tuesday.
I'm gonna sing a new song. It may be early in the morning when I get home. How about this one? Use me, Lord.
Yes.
In thy service. Come on. Draw me nearer each and every day. For I'm willing, Lord, to run every step of the way, and every step of the way. If I falter while I'm trying, please don't be angry. Just let me say, Mama, yeah, Lord, to run all the way.
Wow.
You know that chord, on the way, come on. On the way, Lord. All the way, come on. All the way, Lord. Every step of the way. Well, I'm willing, Lord, to run all the way. Yeah. If I fall down while I'm trying,
Don't be angry
Just let me
if
say,
I falter while I'm trying. Yes, good morning. Welcome to the Literacy Hour. This dedication is for you. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Good morning. We can go all the way. We can go all the way. We don't have to give up. We can go all the way. I enjoy encouraging our listening audience on this Mental Health and Wellness Tuesday, the fourth Tuesday of every month. And I'm so grateful that you have decided to join me this morning. Again, wherever you may be, whatever you might be doing, I want you to be encouraged and know that this too, whatever this is, shall pass. We just got to hold on. We got to go all the way. And we got to recover from some things. We have to recover from some things, some traumas that have occurred in our lives. Recovering is easier said than done, though I know all about that. And I have had patients in the past who have suffered some severe traumas, and after much labor and teamwork with psychologists, psychiatrists, etc., been able to overcome the traumas, or at least the aftermath of the traumas. Trauma is a deeply distressing, a disturbing experience. That's what a trauma is. If you've ever experienced a very distressing experience, a very disturbing experience, the kind of experience that knocks you down, the kind that you don't want to get up from, not immediately. Uh, that's a trauma. A trauma. Trauma can also be a physical injury. Maybe someone ruptured a spleen that was caused by blunt trauma. Someone hit you really, really hard. That's trauma too. But this trauma that I'm talking about on this mental health and wellness morning is that first one, the deeply distressing, the disturbing experience. The American Psychological Association says that a trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event. Maybe that event was an accident, a crime committed against you, a natural disaster. The list goes on and on. And reactions such as being shocked and in denial are typical. And longer term reactions, oh yeah, they can be unpredictable. So any disturbing experience, trauma, any disturbing experience that results in significant fear, you are afraid, you feel helpless, you disassociate, you feel confused, and there are so many other disruptive type feelings that are intense enough to have a long lasting negative impact. Negative impact on your attitudes. It could have a negative impact on your relationships, your behavior, and other aspects of your functioning. Trauma, traumatic events, horrific, terrible. These are words that are used to describe the term trauma. Events include rape, it can include war, it can include natural disasters like earthquakes, flooding. It often challenges an individual's view of the world. After you've experienced a trauma, sometimes you just don't bounce right back. No, 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 no. You begin to look at the world differently. Maybe it challenges your view of the world as a safe place, as a predictable place. Any serious physical injury, a widespread burn, a blow to the head, that's also considered trauma. So, how do we cope with traumatic stress? Well, I'm glad you're tuned into the Literacy Hour this morning because I want to share with you education that is widely available, information that's widely accessible. And again, you, just like I can access this information. I want you to know reputable sources. You know, I love the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's cdc.gov. cdc.gov. And then, you know, I'm crazy about our Mississippi State Department of Health website. That's msdh.ms.gov. Well, we also have a mental health department. That's right. We have a several clinics that provide mental health counseling and help in times of crisis. But I want you to know we also have a Mississippi Department of Mental Health. Yes, I know. Someone said, now, Dr. Liddell, I usually get that confused with the State of Mississippi Department of Health. Well, they are different agencies. And I'm mighty glad about it because we need to focus on both our physical health and our mental health. That's why I decided to go into family medicine. You just can't separate the two when you're treating patients or when you're being evaluated. Your physical health is impacted by your mental health, and your mental health is impacted by your physical health. The two go hand in hand. But the resource that I want you to know about this morning, the American Psychological Association, I shared that with you a moment ago, and I don't mind sharing it again. It's simply A, P as in Paul, A dot org. A, P, A dot org. And man, my team is on it this morning. They are making sure that here on YouTube, you can at least see those resources on the screen. Well, the Department of Mental Health, get ready. It is D as in dog, M as in mother, H as in heaven, D M H dot MS dot gov. And if you go over there this morning, you're going to see a beautiful homepage. You will see that's either an African American woman or man, but it appears to be a woman. And there's a lot going on inside her brain, her head. It looks like it has exploded. And that's how trauma can leave us, feeling as though our brains have just exploded. We don't know whether we're coming or going. Trauma hurts. But there is help. And I want us to be aware of all the help that is available. The Mississippi Department of Mental Health has a helpline and various resources. They have crisis services. And don't you dare forget about that 988 number that we always share on this Tuesday. That's our national suicide and crisis hotline. You can dial it, you can text it. There is help. There are some screening tools that the Department of Mental Health has available as well, right there on the website. We can take a mental health test. Yes, they make it available for Mental Health America. You see, the Department of Mental Health has done the heavy lifting for us. Our Mississippi Department of Mental Health that cares about our mental health. They have made these resources available, and I want you to know about them. That website again is dmh.ms.gov. That's all you have to type in. I know you have mobile devices, iPads, iPhones. You have computers or access to them. I'm not taking for granted that some of you don't, but the overwhelming majority of you do. And so I hope that you take advantage of these resources and access the Mississippi Department of Mental Health. You'll be able to get you some help if you need it. And how will you know that you need it? Well, use those screening tools. Screening tools. Screening tools help us to check to see if something might be going on. Screening is an evaluation. It is to assess whether something might be wrong. And so those screening tools are available there. And man, they have nearly all of them that I'm aware of. They have screening tools for depression. They have screening tools for ADHD. You know, it stands for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They have screening tools for anxiety, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar, psychosis, schizophrenia, eating disorders, post traumatic stress disorder, addictions, gambling addictions, postpartum depression. And that one has been in the news a lot lately because of some cases that have been happening in real time. Postpartum depression test. They have it right there on the Department of Mental Health's website. They have a test where you can test your child's mental health, a youth mental health test. That's right, a screening tool. Anybody can click on the screening tool and take the test. And what I recommend is after you take the test, share the results of the test with a trusted healthcare professional, preferably your medical home. I hope that you have a medical home, but if you don't have a medical home, you can certainly find one. It's called a federally qualified health center. I'm a huge proponent of them. Federally Qualified Health Center, FQHC. They're community based organizations. You can find them right inside your community. They provide comprehensive primary care, preventive care. Yes, oral health, mental health, visual health. Some of them even have pharmacies inside. A federally qualified health center, FQHC. There are also health departments in our various counties. So the reason I'm a huge proponent of federally qualified health centers and health departments is because they work with you if you don't have insurance. They put you on a sliding scale. They will not turn you away. And that's a mighty good thing. I'm mighty glad about it. That if you take a mental health test, a free, quick, confidential, backed up by science test, not a test that somebody in the house wrote down on a piece of paper and gave it to you, not a test that, well, somebody looked at you and said something must be wrong with you. No, no, no. These are scientifically backed up test screening tools that might uncover a mental health condition, because mental health conditions are real and they're common and they're nothing to be ashamed of. Recovery is possible. You can recover. But how can you recover from something that you don't even know might be going on? So I want to encourage you this morning to seek out resources like the Mississippi Department of Mental Health. Get you some help. You go to their website, dmh.ms.gov. You're going to find all kinds of services that are available to all of us all around the state. Inpatient services, community based services. Did you know that there are certified community behavioral health clinics right inside of some of our communities? They provide intellectual and developmental disability services. The DMH, as the Mississippi Department of Mental Health is called often, DMH. DMH can share with you right there on their website where you can access autism services. That's right. At Test Taking Solution, we have assisted many children who have been diagnosed with autism, various levels of autism. The DMH, can share with you where you can find alcohol and drug services and peer support services. They have an entire division that oversees or focuses on these various areas. They have a division of autism. You hear what I'm talking about? A whole division that focuses on autism services. And so we have not because we ask not. When we knock, the doors will be open. There is an autism hotline that you can call. You have questions about insurance benefits and screenings and diagnosis and treatments. This autism hotline is here for you. Team, get ready to put this number up. Autism hotline. Autism is spelled AUTISM. 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 Autism must be diagnosed, you all, through a comprehensive evaluation. And usually that's conducted by what? Qualified healthcare professionals. Psychologists can do it, developmental pediatricians, psychiatrists, family medicine doctors. There's no single medical test for autism, but they will assess the person's behavior. They're going to evaluate their development. They're going to evaluate their ability to communicate. Then and only then will you be able to solidify a diagnosis of autism. But our Department of Mental Health, the DMH, has all of us Mississippians covered. And they want to hear from us. They provide surveys on the website as well that if you think you are a member of an autistic family, you want to take the Autism Services survey, you can go to their website. You can go to the service options tab of their website. But this hotline number for autism, the autism hotline, is 1-833 488 6472. The number again is 1-833 488 6472. And there it is on our screen. The Autism Hotline. I want you to be aware of resources provided by our Mississippi Department of Mental Health, and not just for potential patients or Mississippians, the citizens at large, but they also provide resources for providers, physicians, nurse practitioners, physician associates, and others who help to take care of patients with mental health conditions. They provide various documents, and they have provider bulletins and all sorts of registrations, continuing educations, all sorts of things. Service providers have manuals, guides, and all of those are provided right there on the website of the Mississippi Department of Mental Health, dmh.ms.gov. Please access that site if you think you or a loved one might need some help. There are professionals available to outreach to you. There are data and reports that the Department of Mental Health, just like our highly esteemed state of Mississippi Department of Health, puts up. The Department of Mental Health does the same thing. There are some adult mental health services data reports that they share with us so that we are aware of the conditions that are prevalent in our state. The fiscal year 25 adult mental health services data report is available, and the Department of Mental Health has it on its website. They talk about commitments that have been made. You know, commitments. There are such things as civil commitments. I'm so glad you're tuned into the Literacy Hour this morning, because there are things that perhaps you did not know, or perhaps you knew and you just needed a refresher or a reminder, a review, and you're in the right place. There's something called a civil commitment where you literally can take steps towards receiving inpatient behavioral health services. Somebody being committed to an inpatient facility like our state hospital. That's right, we do have a state hospital that provides mental health care inpatient. But the first step towards helping someone to receive that inpatient behavioral health services begins with a pre-affidavit screening conducted by one of those local community mental health centers I told you about. And there's legislation that controls the entire process. The civil commitment process. Starting July 1st, 2024, that process was updated. And you do a pre-affidavit screening. Again, now this is according to Mississippi law. The affidavit is filled out, and if the pre-affidavit screener makes that recommendation, then it progresses to the affidavit, where there's a uniform civil commitment affidavit filed with the county clerk. And then it proceeds to something called WRIT, WRIT, WRIT. That's a legal term. It's a formal written order issued by a court. That's what a writ is. WRIT. The court has commanded an individual to perform or refrain from performing some specific act. It's a writ. And so that process um, of civil commitment does include a step called writ. Because after that pre affidavit screening is completed and it's been received, and the affidavit itself has been filed because the recommendation was made for it to be filed, the clerk, your county clerk, is then going to issue a writ directing the sheriff to take the person into custody. Take them into custody. Why? Not because they've done something wrong, but the family, you, the family members, the loved ones, the spouse, or maybe even the children believe that there is a need for examination and treatment. You see, there's a process already laid out for that. But we can't act on what we don't know, right? The pre affidavit screening must happen. Go talk to your county clerk. The affidavit must happen. The writ must happen. And then once that sheriff has taken the person into custody for examination and treatment, that's when healthcare professionals will come into the process. Healthcare professionals appointed by the court will examine the person within 48 hours from the order of the examination. And then the next step is there is a hearing that will take place. Within 3 to 5 days after that final exam, the judge decides whether treatment in a state behavioral health program or an outpatient program is necessary. And that judge is going to issue a commitment order if so. Then the next step is there is the commitment. The person is civilly committed in the least restrictive treatment environment that meets the patient's treatment needs. I'm so glad trouble doesn't last always. Just because your family may have committed you for a short period of time to be evaluated does not mean they don't love you. They saw something, some behavior, some actions that became very concerning to them. And they access the civil commitment process. So once that person has been committed, then of course they will get the treatment they need. And at some point, there will be the end of the initial commitment. That initial commitment, it usually can't exceed 3 months. Within 3 months' time, somebody has to reevaluate to see if the treatment, the management has helped, if we can end the commitment, or if something else has to take place. So I want you to be aware of the civil commitment process. And I'm going to make sure that the process gets put up on our website. You know, you can go to our website at any time, ttsfoundation.org. And when you get to the website, you can scroll down or click on the literacy hour and then scroll down to the resources, and you will see resources that we have provided or talked about on a certain day. So I want you to be aware of the Test Taking Solution website and of this civil commitment process, the ttsfoundation.org. Go there, click on Literacy Hour, and scroll down to the resources. We're going to make sure that this, and just a one pager, that this commitment process is placed there for you to access. You have it in your hand and be able to take it wherever you need to take it to get the help that you need. But you don't need to print it. I just want you to have it to be aware of it. It's a lot of mental health conditions and commitments taking place each and every day. You want to know the more about the statistics? I want you to visit the Department of Mental Health's website. They've put the report up for 2025. They share with us the 10 counties with the highest reported number of jail placements. Yes. They share all of that in the report. I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to also put up the report. So we'll put the report up on our website. You'll be able to click it and download it from there. The fiscal year 25 State Hospital and Adult Services Data Report. It's already been published. And we're going to put the civil commitment process up there as well. Make sure you're able to access it. But they have so many wonderful resources and data points inside of the report, including the number of individuals admitted to a state hospital who, prior to their state hospital admissions, were waiting inside of a jail for acute psychiatric commitment. Now, I don't like that, and I'm sure some of you don't like it. That, wait a minute now, if I'm going to begin the civil commitment process, you mean to tell me that there's not a more suitable place to hold me until I'm actually transferred to the state hospital? Y'all have to put me in a jail? Just because someone has a mental illness does not mean that he or she is a bad person or that he or she has done anything wrong. But it looks like fiscal year 2025, the top 10 counties that had the highest number of jail placements for people waiting for state hospital admission included Itawamba, Prentiss, Adams, Panola County, Scott County, Lamar County, Monroe County, DeSoto County, Forest County, and the one with the highest number of jail placements of all, Lee County. Lee County. The average jail wait time, thank God that has, dropped significantly since 2023. The average jail wait time, number of days people were waiting in 2023, 4.77 days. Well, I thank God. That's not long, but listen, 1 day in jail behind bars could be enough to send someone over the edge, to exacerbate whatever might be going on. In 2025, at least the first half of it, 0.92, they were in jail less than a day. That's awesome. And the second half of 2025, it rose to 1.47 days, the average jail wait time. So the Department of Mental Health is serious about making sure that people are treated well. So they monitor, they keep up with these statistics, and then they share them with us. That's why this report is so important. And I'm going to share it with you right there on our website, ttsfoundation.org. So we'll make sure that the entire report gets put up. And again, there are some mobile crisis statistics that they have available as well. But recovery, we get the help we need and then we recover. We cope with traumas. One of the main ways that psychologists and psychiatrists have encouraged and managed traumatic stress is by recommending to people to lean on loved ones. Lean on folks who you know love you. Prioritize your self-care. You don't have to get permission to take care of yourself. If you do, then we have another problem. If you're living in the home with someone to whom you have to ask permission to walk outside and get a breath of fresh air, you have to ask permission to go to the gym. They're hunting you down. They're stalking you and trying to keep up with your every move. That's another problem. That's adding probably to your stress level. But coping with traumatic stress requires you to lean on loved ones, to prioritize taking care of yourself, and to be patient with yourself as you work through managing stressful effects of trauma. When distressing events unfold, many people experience shock and sadness. And I told you, sometimes they're just in fear. They have a sense of helplessness, just don't know what to do. They don't want to be bothered. Psychological research reveals that trauma and crisis situations create immediate effects, they create some lasting effects. Do you have some traumas that you're still dealing with, the aftermath of some traumas? If you do, there is help. You can lean and talk to people whom you know love you. Studies demonstrate that prolonged exposure to upsetting news coverage can significantly impact the mental health and the well being of those of us observing that news. Did you hear what I say? That if we continuously watch upsetting news coverage, whether we're streaming it on our mobile devices or we're looking at it on television, listening to it on the radio, continuously, prolonged exposure. Research studies have shown it significantly impacts your mental health. Even when you're geographically removed from the event itself, the event can be happening in another part of the country. And because you have prolonged exposure to that news coverage, you too can be impacted. Your behavioral health can be impacted, your mental health, your overall well being. And so I want you to be aware that there's good news. There are very effective ways to cope with and to treat the stressful effects of trauma. Thank God for psychologists and psychiatrists and other researchers who have studied this and found that these actions can help. Leaning on your loved ones. You know, I stressed during Fourth Tuesday the importance of having a church home. If you don't have the kind of family that supports you, and I know all about it, not everybody has a supportive family. Not everybody has friends. I've heard it said that if you have one friend, you have more than your share. You can count them on one hand, the number of true friends that you might have. So I understand. I know all about it. And because you know all about it too, the researchers know it as well, and they've done the studies, and they have found that there are three things that do help us to cope with traumatic stress. Leaning on our loved ones. You identify those friends, you identify the family members who support you. And whenever you're ready to discuss the traumatic event, you might talk to them about your experience and about your feelings. You can also ask loved ones to help you out with household tasks. They're your loved ones. They love you. I get real, listen, I grew up in the country. I've been educated in some of the most prestigious institutions in our country: Tougaloo College, Brown University, University of Iowa College of Medicine, University of Mississippi Medical Center, Mississippi State University College of Business. I've been educated in some of the most prestigious institutions in our country. You can take a girl out of the country, but you cannot take the country out of the girl. You find some folks who love your dirty draws. You hear me? Find them, identify them, figure out who is in my corner. Where is my support system? Who are they? Who can I call in the middle of the night and they won't get mad at me? They won't curse me out. They won't hang up on me. Who can I do that with? Who is it? Is it the motherboard? Somebody on the motherboard's a deacon. Is it your pastor? Is it your first lady? Is it your sister or brother who attends church with you? Is it your biological brother, your biological sister? Can you call them in the middle of the night and they pick that phone up? Figure out first who is your support, who is your loved one. And then you can ask them for some help. They will help you with household tasks. They'll come over. They will love on you. They will say, I'm here. If you don't say anything, they're going to be standing right there doing whatever it is you are asking them to do. They will help to relieve obligations and some of that daily stress that you're dealing with as you're coping with traumatic stress. Why? Because traumatic stress is real. Trauma is real. Mental health conditions are real. If you're feeling anxious and nervous and overwhelmed and stricken by grief, you've lost a loved one and you are just not in the mood to deal with people. You feel irritable. You feel moody. Those are times when you need to lean on loved ones. Don't get by yourself now. You know, the devil is real as well, and he loves to isolate God's people. He loves to get you by yourself and start talking crazy stuff to you. Don't do that. Try very hard to not isolate yourself. Get up and contact a loved one. I say, find a Bible believing, Bible teaching church home. And the literacy hour is not for everybody. If you are not, if you don't believe in the Bible, then, you can change the station. You can go and listen to another podcast. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I love the Lord with all my heart. And so I can only speak from the place that I know. I can only speak from that place. And I can stand flat foot and tell you that having a strong church home, leaning on your loved ones, can help you cope with traumatic stress. If you haven't tried it, I want you to try that today. Number 2, prioritize self-care. Do your best to eat nutritious meals. I know it's not 100% accessible each and every day. You have to cook nutritious meals. You have to, access various ingredients to create a nutritious meal. Many times, just going in the store and seeing some nutritious meal in the frozen aisle section may not be accessible because of how much it costs. People have to make a way, some folks think that it's just easy to just eat the right foods. It's not easy, especially when you live in a food desert. You got to drive miles and miles to a grocery store and you don't even have anything to drive. No bus comes down to your part of the city or the county. So how does someone expect you to eat nutritious meals? We at Test Taking Solution just finished a marvelous summer of programming. We had a summer food services program where we fed children breakfast, lunch, a snack all summer long from June through July. And I thank God that we were able to do that because of the work of the Mississippi Department of Education, because of the work and the resources provided by Jackson Public School District, the Office of Child Nutrition. You see, there are resources, you all. Now, we didn't get paid to do that. Not a dime, not a penny. As a matter of fact, I had to pay staff. As a matter of fact, we had to be available all those times. It was a labor of love because we knew that with these resources, if we could just help to get them to the people who needed them most, that we will have done a great work for God. The Bible says, whatever we do for the least of these, we do unto God. So eat a nutritious meal. There are resources available. Get regular physical activity. That's the big one. With all these computers and mobile devices, it's hard for us to get up and walk around. I make it a point, and I don't care who gets mad about it. I don't bother anybody. I get up, I walk outside, I walk, I walk, I walk, I walk, I got to stay active. Got to. I feel some type of way when I am not as active as I know I need to be. I was an athlete, a trackster, a band drum major. When you got those kinds of sports in your blood, you just want to be active anyway. But I'm sitting here telling you that physical activity is also good for your mental health today. Get a good night's sleep. You see, we're talking about prioritizing self-care. Get a good night's sleep. Seek out healthy coping strategies. And maybe it's art for you, or music, or meditation, or relaxation, or spending time in nature. Ooh, that does it for me. Oh my goodness. I love listening to worship music. That's my brother, DJ Larry Armstrong, is one of my best friends. I just love how he uh, does what he does. I love worship music. I can sit in church on Sunday morning, and if no one says any, if the pastor doesn't preach, if the congregation, if no one says good morning, if I could just hear the organ and the drums and the cymbals and the the choir, I'll be all right. That does it for me. What does it for you? Prioritize that and be patient. That's the third and final way that psychologists and other researchers have found helps us to cope with traumatic stress, leaning on our loved ones, prioritizing self care, and number three, being patient with ourselves. Boy, sometimes we can be our worst critic. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I ain't no good. Don't nobody love me. The whole world is against me. I ain't never gonna be nothing. We some of our worst critics. Quiet that voice in your mind. Tell that voice to shut up. Sit down. Be quiet. God loves you. And you have some loved ones. You need to identify who they are. But I guarantee you, you got some. You already know who they are, I bet. Lean on them. And if they're true loved ones, they might even seek you out first. You may not have to go call them. They may call you and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. You okay? Everything all right? That's a loved one. What you need. Because if I got it, you got it. Be patient with yourself. It's normal to want to avoid thinking about a traumatic event. You don't want to play that thing over and over and over in your head. But boy, some people are some kind of people, aren't they? They'll come to you and they'll replay it for you. Hey, you remember when such and such, such and such? Hey, how you doing? I know that you da 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 da. What people, something else. They will replay your traumatic event for you. But I still recommend that you don't isolate yourself just to stay away from those people. Don't you do that. Not leaving the house, sleeping excessively, isolating yourself from loved ones, using substances to cope. Those are not healthy ways to do it, you all. See, when you learn better, you do better. You're hearing today on the Literacy Hour, the mental health and wellness episode, that it is not good to isolate yourself. Though avoidance is normal, you want to avoid certain folks. Avoid them. You want to avoid thinking about a traumatic event. You don't have to think about it. Get yourself around your loved ones. Find a strong church home. You don't have one? I know of some in Jackson. You may know of some. You can call in and tell me what they are. The number to call is 601-714-8378. Share with us where people can go and find some real help. St. Matthew MB Church, 3660 Fontaine Avenue. Open every Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, Bible study. I'm sorry, not Bible study. Would you know? Sunday school, 9 o'clock. And then 10:15 or so, 10:30 service, out by noon. And then there's Bible study every Wednesday night. Got Bible study on Tuesdays as well, but Bible study virtually. You can just log in on your telephone and access the Bible study. You talk about powerful. Man, Pastor Melvin Collins, listen. Ooh wee. um, it's changed my life. And I know that if you want that information on how to log in or access the Bible study, then call us 601-714-8378. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to do anything different. All you have to do is call the number. You can sit right there on the phone quietly and just listen to the St. Matthew Bible study. It's a conference call. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the number. I want to go ahead and give it out. Team, get ready. Put this number up for me. 267. That number is 267 807 9611. Put that number up for me. 267-807-9611. You guys are amazing. You've already put it up. And then there's an access code. So behind that number, put a comma and put this access code behind the number 582 929. 582 929. You can simply call that number on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. and get access to a powerful Bible study. Keep that number up for me. 267-807-9611. We're talking about resources, you all. Listen, I'm almost out of time. The next time we get together, I'm going to talk about postpartum depression. It's been in the news a lot lately and is more than just having baby blues. I want you to know that around 1 in 8 women have symptoms of depression after they give birth. That means that it is important enough for us to discuss. It's very prevalent and we need to talk about it. What causes it? How can you prevent it? Can you prevent it? What can you do to manage it? You stay locked and loaded to the literacy hour. Fourth Tuesday is when we explore mental health and wellness. And I want you to explore it with me. I want to leave you with this. My meditation this morning was recovering from betrayal. Recovering from betrayal. We've been talking a lot this morning about recovering from traumatic events. And sometimes when your friend, your best friend, a friend whom you love betrays you, that is traumatic. Well, Psalms chapter 55, verses 12 and 13 says, "For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide and mine acquaintance." That's the King James Version. The New England Version puts it like this, New International Version, NIV. It says, "If an enemy were insulting me, I could endure it. But it is you, my close friend." That's something. When we're leaning on loved ones and then loved ones betray us. Listen, if you are the loved one of someone, as I close the show this morning, I want you to do some self-reflection and determine what kind of loved one are you. Are you the kind of loved one whom someone can lean on? Or are you the kind of loved one who will betray your friend's confidence? I hope you said you're the former and not the latter. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Literacy Hour. We hope that you will tune back in next Tuesday when we will be exploring education literacy. Let's find out what's going on around the state education-wise, and there is a lot. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
For the past 1 hour, you have been listening to the Literacy Hour with Test Taking Solution and your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. We are located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Visit us on the web at www.testtakingsolution.com. Join us each Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. for another life-changing conversation here on our podcast live stream at affiliate stations.